Alright, I guess here we go. This is a video that a friend sent me a long time ago and told me to watch. I'm just now getting around to it. 2002 fan analysis, Bruce Campbell. It's about Bruce Campbell and his time in Army of Darkness and going to fan conventions and how meeting fans. Apparently it's related to idols somehow, so let's watch this.
Airports are my life. I am a gypsy, trapped in an actor's body. I go from place to place. So we transfer, we switch off, we take carry-on bags, we check our luggage, we tip people.
It's funny that we recorded this back then in 2000 something.
That's what we do. Help me.
I felt like that a few times in the last couple of years traveling around. Oh, look, it's a Borg, dude. Resistance is futile. What is that? God, what is...
Mr. Bruce Campbell.
So, I noticed that you're doing a documentary. I mean, what prompted you to do this?
I'm calling it Fanalysis.
So it's Bruce Campbell's, it's actually done by him, huh?
Because I've encountered fans for years, and I've always found it fascinating the roots of fandom.
Oh, damn, that's cool, dude. That's really cool. I'm not a big fan of Bruce Campbell. I've never been a fan of like that kind of comedy. Army of Darkness, I just never got it, even though a lot of my friends like it. Yeah, something about Bruce Campbell's humor just never gelled with me, but this is pretty interesting.
Friend Richie.
Why are people fans? Why are they fans to the extent that they're going to spend, 40 weeks making a costume that'll walk across the stage for 4 seconds?
That's funny. Okay, so this was sent to me because like, a friend of mine knew that I'm an Idol fan, and it kind of parallels with why fans are Idol fans and why, like, Bruce Campbell's wondering the same question, basically. Like, why are people fans of me and spend all this time to do this stuff?
That's fascinating to me.
Oh, me too, sir. Me too. Fan. He should have spelled it fan, D-U-M-B.
I don't think there is such a thing as an average fan.
Okay.
I think it's more about the levels of intensity of fandom.
Dude, and this, can you believe this? The interesting about this is this was 2002, right? So this is more than 24 years ago. 20 years ago, and he's already talking about the same thing. Again, it's something that you can't outrun. Ultimately, we're all humans, right? And as much as like we like to think that we've evolved and we've become better and become smarter, it's like the same with like they track people that running, right? The improvements in running and in sports and in swimming and all that stuff, none of that, very, very minuscule amount of that is actually from physical like ability. Most of the improvements are technological improvements. Better shoes, better running services. Like with swimming, it was putting gutters on the sides of the swimming pool so that the reverberations from the waves didn't come back and slow a swimmer down. Right? Those are the improvements that we've actually made. This is why world records get broken. Suddenly, they invented something called a flip turn. And now instead of swimming to the edge and touching the edge and going back, you flip turn and go back now. So those are the real improvements. Those are the real advancements in humanity, and not so much actually people getting better or stronger or faster or becoming less human because they're better fans now. Those problems are always going to plague fans. And he's about to talk about it, I think.
I have never seen a character that has really affected me as much as Xena has.
Xena the Warrior Princess.
I've been a Trekkie my whole life. My dad made me watch it as a child. I'm scarred for life.
My dad has every episode on tape.
Yes, so does my dad.
There are various stratas of fandom like in any other group of people, whereas you have people with lives and families and kids and jobs and all of that. And they occasionally rent a movie at Blockbuster and watch it at home.
And then the next level, they just buy a few dolls.
A cult fan, I guess,
So again, we're going up the scale, right? There's the people who go to idol shows once in a while, enjoy it here and there, listen to the music songs here. Next step is, now they're buying merchandise and, light sticks and whatever, and then so on and so forth. What is this hierarchy? And people are, again, I know American fans are not going to like it, but there is a hierarchy. You can't sit there and tell me that there isn't a hierarchy. By hierarchy, I also don't mean better, right? I don't mean these people are better because they spend X number of money or they spend a number of time. But there is a hierarchy as far as at least, you have to sort them in some way. You can't say every fan is the same. Otherwise, you're saying, oh, the creepy, crazy stalker fan is the same as a person who just saw them once. There's got to be for purposes of sorting, there has to be at least a hierarchy. At the very least.
Usually I sort of define it personally as when costuming and lingo starts to come into their day-to-day lives.
Then there's the third type, which is where I am, which is mildly obsessive.
Nancy, the nutcase, will bow to the TV and once in a while forget that she's watching the show and she'll be in the show.
And then you have the geek, the guy who's lost.
The top level is somebody that does plastic surgery on themselves.
Oh wow, that's where she rates the top. The plastic surgery so you can look more like the character.
Changes their name, wears a costume.
And then there's the
change his name, plastic surgery, and wears a costume. I think those are not exactly in the same.
So you can tell by looking at it that they have nothing more to live for, and it's really sad.
Just go back and listen to this and think of it in terms of idols. Don't think about it in terms of what they're talking about. Just think of it as terms of idols, like idol fans.
I'd say there's probably only 5 levels because about.
Thank you. Let's bring it on, Bruce.
Fifth level, we're really talking lawsuits and police.
I love you.
Oh, he didn't actually break up. This is what I mean, man. People like to break it up as if idol fans are some sort of subhuman alien species. But idol fans are exactly the same rating as these kind of things, right? They're the exact same. Just swap out the subject matter.
I was 15 when I saw Army of Darkness. And that's what first started me getting into Bruce Campbell. And if I was a fan of anybody else, I would be flat broke. Yes, sir.
What is it like as an actor?
Okay, so that's what he's saying. He's saying if he was a fan of somebody else, meaning he supports Bruce Campbell, spends all his money on Bruce Campbell merchandise, and if he was a fan of somebody else, then he'd be broke because he'd be spending all his money, kind of like Oshimen stuff, Oshikatsu. That's, dude, it's hilarious, man. This is really, really interesting so far.
They come to these things and see people who are wearing your likeness on their shirts.
Shot smart. Shot. Yes, smart.
And just apparently seem to eat, sleep, and breathe your show.
To be honest, the concept of fandom to me is too surreal to have an impact.
Okay, yeah. I could see that being as that. Again, if you were at not to toot my own horn, but I had a little bit of level of celebrity at one time in my life where I would go to video game conventions and get noticed, and people would just hang on your word. They took your word as truth or gospel. Oh, David knows what he's talking about because he's on this video game podcast on the internet that's really popular. There is something weird about celebrity where suddenly your words hold more weight because you're popular on a TV screen, right? And I think that's what he's talking about here. It really was an interesting thing, man. It's a whole nother topic. I probably shouldn't get too much into it. And again, I'm not trying to be conceited, but I think I do have this sort of perspective on that kind of life. Even though I'm not a big star or anything, but I did have a brush with that. And luckily I got out before it became something crazy where you can't even walk down the street. This guy, it's a completely different level. He can't walk down the street without people stopping him.
When I go home to the Pacific Northwest, it does not affect my day-to-day life.
And those are the best, man.
I always sort of run into is I'll go into a FedEx office to mail something, and I'll get the woman behind the counter going, Hey, you look familiar. Are you an actor?
See, that's what I'm saying, right? It's a completely different. But like I like how he says that he doesn't let his he doesn't let it affect his normal day-to-day life.
Yeah. What have I seen you?
What have I seen you in?
Oh, I've been in. Do you watch television? No. Well, name some stuff, and it's like, well, look, can you please just take my package?
That's interesting because he's not trying to be an asshole, but right, this is the same thing as me and going to Japan and me walking about around Shibuya, and I just imagine like there's people in Shibuya just trying to go to work, just trying to go to the store, just trying to do normal everyday lives. And then there's fucking tourists, like, as soon as the light turns green, they gotta run into the middle of Shibuya, crossing and dance, and like, oh, look at me, look where I am. Let's take these glamour shots. And she's like, fucking, I just want to get through here and be a normal person, dude. Can you get the fuck out of here? And you're not trying to be an asshole, but it's kind of annoying that these people can't, like, have boundaries.
You're a fan of something. One time I wrote a fan letter to Steve McQueen. I saw his movie Papillon, which was in the 70s. Dear Steve McQueen, I like all your films in Gomorrah, and I think I sent it to Steve McQueen, actor, Hollywood, USA. And, of course, I got no response, and it bummed me out horribly.
I wrote 2 fan letters.
So that is an interesting point, too. It's like, that's where the fandom thing is weird. It's like, if you want to do something nice and send it out, that's fine. The problem is when these people are like wanting or expecting something in return. And I mean, this is a conversation probably can't get into, but like, you have to think about the putting out and what you expect in return. If you want to just send something nice out, do something nice, cool. But most of the problems I see with the fandom are when people like, they get a return and then they get addicted to the taste of the return. And so they just want more and want more. And it's about, well, what can I do next that's bigger and better, and that will elicit more of a response and more of a response, more response. And it's that exchange when fandom gets kind of difficult and dangerous. There you go.
There's a kid. One to a guy who wrote a book about sea animals, who wrote me back, actually. The other fan letter I wrote was to, what was that guy's name? He was some actor on The Outer Limits. I can't remember what his name was, but I got a letter back from his estate telling me that he had died. But he was already dead.
What the fuck?
Fan mail itself is a fascinating concept. The fact that someone would send a letter to you, hoping that you'll read it in the comfort of your own home, and be impressed.
Dear Mr. Campbell, I wrote a short...
I really don't think he's trying to be an asshole, but like what he's saying actually makes sense too, right? He's like, they want you to read my letter and feel impressed. Like, that's the thing, man. It's heartfelt letters these people are writing. I know tons of people who say stuff like this.
Story about a guy named Norm who likes to torture small animals and sink plugs in the toilet by I'm an autopsy pathologist and enjoyed Army of Darkness. May I use your photo of skeletal hands reaching Dear Mr. Bruce Campbell, go Bruce, go sing We Are the World with your activist friends. I have written to you many times before asking intelligent. Dear Mr. Campbell, I think I should get a life. I'm mailing a non-popular actor about a non-popular...
This is not is that a real, like, message?
Even though you do some of the cheesiest stuff I've ever seen, you're great at what you do.
How about Tucson, Arizona? It feels like a card, not really a letter. It'll be like a horse or something, or a... Oh, no, it's a cactus that has crushed a car.
Dear Bruce, not only are you talented, but goddamn sexy as well. Hope you're not offended by such a comment from another male. And if you are, I couldn't give a shit. So keep up the good work. And more shirtless scenes. Thanks.
Oh, what the hell?
Email address for any fan that wants to send something to me. How's it going, Bruce? I wrote before and was happy that I actually received a response. A lot of people said, oh, you must have gotten your agent to do that response. I said, you kidding? I can't even get my agent on the phone. He's not going to do my email. Every so often, I will get one that is just a zinger. Each email has a little subject heading, and this one is, sorry about your acting career.
I was pretty amazed to hear you're working on writing a book.
I wasn't sure you were literate.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I knew you could push the button when you wanted another banana.
Damn.
I'm only about halfway through.
So the thing is, so one of the things I think is weird is that I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's an American thing where like everything should be taken where it's not, you chalk it up to ignorance versus like malicious intent, right? This guy's writing a really crappy mail and it's scathing, it's disrespectful, but you should, I think the best, healthiest way to is just assume that, instead of assuming the worst, assume that they're just ignorant and don't know. So like maybe this guy is not the best example, but you know, whenever I've gotten emails before, I've said things to certain celebrities that I didn't mean in the worst, in a bad way, but immediately after I said it, I'm like, ooh, shit, that probably could be taken the wrong way, and I didn't mean it that way. And like, you're already there in front of the celebrity, so yeah, that's like kind of a general rule. It's like, if you get a bad message or somebody says something offensive, don't take it offensively and just assume that it's like, whoops, like they just said something. That's the better way to go about it, man. I wish more people in the West, more people on Twitter, on social media, I wish more people would follow that rule, because I feel like in America, we're like perpetually offended, and we try to take everything in the most offensive way because that makes us, you know, a victim, or that makes us, you know, right in the eyes of the public. Let's just keep going.
When it's convention time, when it's public appearance time, I do sort of break out the reasonable clothes. I'm hoping that the fans want to see someone who's approachable, that you're not wearing a Hugo Boss suit or whatever. I wouldn't know a Hugo Boss suit if it jumped out and bit me in the ass. You know, I'll go from your sort of dumb sandals with socks.
Isn't it interesting how he filmed
I'll probably
this?
go to a nicer shoe or a goofier shoe. You know, I might have to dust the crap out of these because.
Oh, this is his house. I thought he was in a hotel.
Dust. You know, I might go a little kookier. This is a martini shirt. That'll be for the Evil Dead crowd,
that seems very Bruce Campbell.
Unfortunately, these maniacs can drink during the shows, so you know I got to wear stuff that looks good with beer spill all over it.
I can't get his comedy, dude. I don't know how serious he is and how much of it is just like goofiness.
I actually know some actors who are tormented by fans, just tormented. They think they're all crazy, and they're all these, you know, 900-pound couch potatoes. You know, there's always a grain of truth in some of that. I look at it as sort of a grassroots thing. I'm sort of glad-handing and taking a pulse of what's out there. I am absolutely a traveling salesman. What I try and do sometimes is...
He's very, very... The one thing is, like, he's very, very honest about himself, right? Like, me as an Idol fan, I am fully able to admit there's probably something wrong with me, right? You don't follow... What is normal anyways, but you don't follow normal conventions. You don't follow the, hey, let me wake up and I work 9 to 5 and then I go home and I da-da-da-da. Right? There's something, obviously, if you look around my room... Like, there's obviously something a little bit wrong with me in that I'm okay living my life this way. And I think every Idol fan or every, like, super fan like this should be able to admit that to themselves. Because if you're trying to pass yourself off as not normal, I feel like you're hiding, you're trying to hide something, right? And, like, you should be able to admit, like, yeah, there's a reason why I'm into this stuff. There's a reason why I'm at least different. Maybe not something wrong with you, but you're at least different in a very particular way. Like he's saying, like I'm a traveling salesman. There's something that's not normal about my life, and that's true. There is something not normal about his life. His life is not normal.
Is take things with me on the road to make me feel like I'm still sort of at home. I have a pillow that I travel with. like to interact. It's nice to go out and see the face of the emails live in person.
It's Alamo Draft House? What the hell? This is not in Austin, is it? I think they were Alamo Draft House elsewhere.
I want to get a hold of you as far as like scripts or anything like that.
God.
Email.
Go to my website. Are you online at all?
Yes. Go to the website.
www.bruce.
So you actually answer all the mail yourself, or you?
Yeah, if it's like but you should put in the subject heading.
Right.
Something a little more serious than like "you rock." Try it again.
That's so funny that, like, this was a time when you could actually do stuff like this, man. Like, this is so early on in the internet, like, wow.
Evil Dead was my first film experience for me.
Yeah, Hamlet. I do like your work. All right, lovely.
There's a certain mentality out there that's special. You'll definitely see the adrenaline start to pump. Your eyes start to light up. Evil Dead, for example, is probably one of the first movies this particular crowd saw that was just like, wow.
Hi, Tim. Come on in. This is Tim. He's the proprietor of the establishment.
I think we're ready to go anytime you are.
Go for it. I'm ready.
Mr. Bruce Campbell.
I think the problem arises sometimes in fandom of entertainers is that they expect that person to be that character. There's a very big difference there, and I think that's where some of the confusion is, some of the gray areas are in our society.
Absolutely. Definitely. But how does that play into idols? I mean, because people forget that idols are a character on stage when they're performing, quote unquote, and then when they come off the stage, there's somebody else. They're somebody else in their private life. It's like wrestling too. It may be an extension of their character, but it's definitely if the best case is it should be their character and then just amped up a little bit, right? You don't want somebody who's fake and like pretending to be. Well, I mean, again, that's part of being an idol too. But it's part of being an actor, right? But to not be able to dissociate them, that like he's saying, that's where the problems arise.
That fantasy versus reality.
They want a certain kind of you. That's what they're paying for. We actors run a very fine line of giving them what they want, but not giving too much away. When I go on stage to say hi, it's Ted Raimi up there. So I can't really hide too much behind a persona. What I have to do is to give very specific answers that aren't too personal, but not so impersonal so as the fans would be disappointed because they came to see me. My primary goal in going to these conventions is so that I can see the people who I am supposed to be entertaining and meet them to see if I am. How else does an entertainer know if he's any good?
When you come to a convention, no one cares what your race is, what's your religion, your education, how much money you make. It's like we're all here because we're fans of Star Trek.
That's how it should be, though. This is how idols is in Japan. This is how it is in Japan, right? Everybody comes in under the banner of we love this idol, we love this group, we're here to support this group. But I feel like, and this is why, like, as an idol, you don't divulge certain information. You keep that all secret. But in America, I feel like it's constantly like, we want to know that this person agrees with us on every facet of our personal life. Like, oh, politically, we run this way politically, and if the idols comes out and says something opposite, then, oh, we can't support her anymore. This is why this stuff should be kept hidden. And because I don't think Americans are responsible enough to still support someone even they disagree with them, right? I think that's something that's uniquely American, whereas in Japan, I think that's less of the case. I could be wrong, but I think that in Japan, well, first of all, again, tight-lipped, idols aren't supposed to say that kind of stuff in the first place. Americans get upset because, oh, you're suppressing her feelings. You're not letting her tell her truth. And then she says something, and if it's not it has to be the way that those people want it. And if it's not the way the people want it, then they're like, oh, well, I can't support this person because they're genocide or whatever thing they concocted up in their mind. But he's talking about this right now. It should be that everybody just comes together because we're fans of this thing, and that should be enough in terms of like coming together, like everybody at this convention. We should all be friends regardless of political affiliation, race, gender.
Star Wars, B5. And so we can all be friends together regardless of anything else. Now when we leave the convention center, we may suddenly take those prejudices on again. But at least for the weekend, we can all come together as friends and have a good time.
And that's nice. That's nice. I think this was something that was very prevalent in early 2000s America. I don't think this is the case anymore. Like it can't be like this because of just something. We're so like, it's very set up in a way where we can't be like this anymore. It's kind of a shame.
We try to make people realize that they can come here. It's a safe environment. They don't have to feel ostracized. There's a place where they can go where they aren't chastised for what they like, or they aren't teased for being weird or any of that. And it makes a difference in their lives. Because
this is an interesting thing because they're not going to. We don't want them to feel like they're going to be made fun of for being weird. But I've also seen it from the American, maybe Japanese, because I don't really, like, I'm not conversing on Twitter with Japanese people a lot, so that might not be a case. But for the American side, I definitely do see it, man. I do see it as, like, if you don't agree with us, it's fair game to make fun of them, right? And she's saying, like, you shouldn't make fun of anybody. Everybody should feel safe. But I see a lot of hypocritical behavior in America where it's like, oh, we're not going to make fun of you if you're weird. And then all of a sudden they find somebody that they disagree with, and it's totally fine to make fun of them, right? It's totally fine to make fun of this lonely guy because, you know, he disagrees with us.
It gives them an outlet. It gives them a safe outlet for their creative energy.
They go in there to escape the bad media and have some fun.
I think what makes a typical fan is somebody who has a 9-to-5 job in the real world that wants to have the wife and the kids and all that, but they're still holding on to being a kid inside. They're still holding on to being a child. It's an escape. It's a way to get away from all of their day-to-day problems.
I think that's true about Idol's fans too, especially the Japanese the men. I think it's like an escape, and they just want an escape from. They want to relive the old memories of how things used to be when they were in high school or when they had less responsibilities. I think that's part. I think that really is a. People always say like Japan is this playground for men, and I think that's true, but I don't think it's true in the way that they try to like frame it.
I'm brought in to sit with them, tell jokes, and put little Billy on my knee and sign their autographs.
Put Billy on my knee? Is he Santa Claus? This is where I feel like, I'll just say, this is where I feel like I've personally evolved, is because at a certain point, you meet enough celebrities, you meet enough idols, you're in these situations enough. Like, I feel like if I met Bruce Campbell, I wouldn't be nervous anymore. Like, I wouldn't be starstruck. Maybe Bruce Campbell's not the best example because I'm not like a crazy fan of his. But like, I feel like I could meet any, like K-pop, like I feel like I could go meet Twice or meet like Blackpink or whatever top idol, like K-pop group. And I still wouldn't be nervous because you'd be nervous a little bit just because the lights are on you. But like, I don't think I would freeze up. I think I would be able to make jokes with them. You know, I've been around enough. I feel like I've been around enough of these places, been backstage enough to see the like strings and everything that, you know, like you wouldn't let it affect you.
There you go. How are you?
How are you?
Good. What was your name?
Artemis.
Artemis. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
It really is interesting that he he was doing this back in 2002. Like, just, I feel like there should be more stuff like this because he's not mocking it, right? He's not doing it like, oh, look at these crazy fans. Look at all they're obsessed with me. He's not like that. He's actually looking at it from a like, this is admittedly weird, but I want to understand why it happens. And he's also doing it from a place of like, I'm just kind of a normal person, man. So I don't get why these people like treat me this way.
Hey.
All right.
They win. Carol and Jeff. When people line up for 2.5 hours for an autograph, to be honest, my initial reaction is, you poor bastard, I'm sorry you had to wait so long.
Fucking great, dude.
I wish there was a way to make it all happen faster.
Yes, exactly. That's great, man. That is great, dude. Don't never let your ego. What did Mike Tyson say? Like, at the end of the day, I'm just a nobody like everybody else. So I want, like, Mike Tyson was talking about when he got mad, when he let stuff get to him, it was because he thought of himself as more than he actually was, right? He was like, I'm the world champ. I'm the best fighter in the world. Fuck you. You should show me some respect. And then when he got out of that was when he just admitted, like, dude, I'm just a normal person. Like, why am I getting so upset about this? Like, you wouldn't get upset about that, like anything else as a normal person. Why do you get upset about this?
But of course, in order to do that, you'd have to be more impersonal.
Sorry if I scare you. I'd like to say you're a genius and you are my idol.
Yesterday.
I get, oh man, I'm working on a video / like article. It's like, you are my idol. What is an idol? What does that mean? Because the guy said it very casually, but have you really thought about it? I looked up the like definition. Like, an idol is literally a god. Like a god, like, think about it like Aztecs or, you know, not Buddhism. What's the Shinto, right? The religion. You're looking at these people as an idol. Like, what does that actually mean? I think people are too nonchalant about that definition now. Like, it's just like a normal thing. But like, what an idol is, what does that mean to a person? What should it mean?
A woman wanted me to sign slightly above her breast, and you know, and in order to get my hand in there, I sort of had to mush upon her breast a certain amount. I'm not saying that that was a bad thing. I'll go to a breakfast with them that the convention has arranged, and they'll sit there and they'll eat their pancakes without saying anything. You know, I have to kind of poke them and prod them.
Ah, okay.
To talk.
He's at a breakfast with fans, he's saying. And like, yeah, like, again, like I said, man, I don't think I would be, if I went to anybody, I don't think there's anybody that I would just really be like that with anymore. I don't think so.
When I run into a fan, sometimes they'll go, oh, you look kind of like a normal guy. Especially even when you work on a movie. If it's an action thing or something, you might train for weeks and weeks and weeks and get in really good shape, and you run around without your shirt on, and it's all makeup, and they spray you down. It's all make-believe, and then, you know, they see in reality, you know, you're at Denny's eating, and you're sort of slumping over a little bit, and you're, you know,
and again, you say something that you don't mean as offensive, but as soon as you say it, you realize, oh God, that was kind of offensive. But you can't take it back. You try to take it back, it makes it more awkward. Yeah, and it's great because he's acknowledging this. It's like, you're just a normal guy. He's like, yeah, I am just a normal guy.
On your chin, just like everybody else. It's.
What are you, levitating above all of us?
Excited yet horrified at the same time. So it's, I think, within fandom, it's sort of a roadkill thing. They can't take their eyes off it.
What's probably the most surreal moment that's ever happened to you?
That's surreal. The costume event last night was pretty surreal to me. It had a fan-like frenzy, yet nothing about what was on stage was familiar to me.
Wow. Wow.
A character would come out on stage that we've never seen before in our life, and the audience would go,
I have come to this convention to destroy you all. If any of you
Omega Red
would dare stop me, remember, you all have short skirts And I have tentacles.
What the fuck? What the fuck? This is from 2002, man.
Backstage, we interviewed a number of the contestants. Could you run us through your costume?
Yeah, we start off with basically bottomhose, bottom pants, made from a velour bathrobe with extra attachments, little crap sticks, little beads.
Did you make that?
I cut it up, and I'd love to thank my mom because she's the one that sewed it for me.
Oh, is that card captor Sakura? Oh, it is.
We just glue these kinds of this kind of material together with the fashion and design the collar entirely.
Who is that? It's supposed to be Ramu?
Little jewelry. We had to make all the little jewelry pieces.
I'm Kagato. I'm the evil overlord that tries to destroy the good guys.
Oh, that's so great, dude.
Painting from here on down to the new color for me. And then we had spirit gum these guys on our face. We had a craft bowl. Standard George Washington.
Is that Tenchi Muyo?
I'm doing a documentary.
Maybe that's what Kagato's from?
All pink fleece.
That might have been Tenchi Muyo, dude.
Styrofoam, plastic, traced my hand. I got a little bit of stuffing in here. Ears are also made out of padding, and the only way I can see is like a bird's eye view. This is my 20th costume.
Your 20th?
Yes, I'm looking into becoming a professional costume designer, though.
Oh my, designer, okay. This is how it's changed so much. Back then it was, I want to be a professional costume designer. Now the first thing that popped in my head was, I want to be a professional cosplayer.
So.
That's a very good start.
That's supposed to be Mew too, right? Why is she walking that way?
My CD that I'm gonna lip sync to.
Oh,
What's
that's...
the name of the song?
Mouth by Meryl Bainbridge.
Why'd you pick that song?
Because that's the only song that I know all the words to.
That's supposed to be... Oh my... What? You were wearing stuff like that back in 2002? You were allowed to wear shit like that in 2002, man? I thought it was more of a recent thing.
Do you like it here?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
Oh, I like all the fun people and the different atmosphere than my boring little hometown.
I can show my ass off without, people judging me. It's a little bit too much, man.
The first three conventions, 10 would come dressed
I've been to some anime conventions where like people are literally like just in a thong walking around, and I'm like, this is an all ages event, man. I don't really think you should be wearing that stuff. It's America. I get it. You could do whatever you want, but there's a time and a place for all that.
5 like Gabrielle, then 20 like Xena, 10 like Gabrielle, then like 30 people in these contests would come dressed like Xena, 15 like Gab, and like 5 like Joxer.
I work for the county, an electrician for the county,
Oh.
but they don't know this side of me. The man behind the mask.
As you can see, my character is Xena, Warrior Princess, and
She
that
does
is
look a
my
little bit
name,
like a Xena.
legally changed by a judge.
Oh, that's what she was saying earlier. She was talking about herself. She said the crazies are the ones who get surgery and change their name.
Each convention you do, you find yourself in a certain situation where you can't bend this arm and you can't move in this position.
This costume is basically a leather dress, basically just like Lucy's.
So you modify it and change it and add a strap here or take a strap away or add Velcro.
I consider myself a fan of sci-fi, fantasy, especially with the medieval period.
The sword is a replica of Lucy's that was made by my friend.
My son took a real
Lucy's?
interest in
You mean
Star
Xena,
Wars,
right?
and
She's talking about Lucy
we,
Law. Oh, it looks
initially
Boba
became
Fett.
a costume of Boba Fett.
That's a
for
small
Halloween,
little Boba Fett,
and
though.
It was so popular, I just sat down and started building an adult one. And over about the last
So
year,
that was for his
I built
kid.
this costume.
This outfit I've been working on for about 4 years.
And I also have the real chakra.
The
Oh,
helmet
cool.
I actually got from a fellow in Australia. Now, if I would have gotten this done in the States, it would have probably been on upwards to $1,000, $1,500.
I've gone this far, might as well go just a little bit farther. So about 7 months ago, I decided to have some plastic surgery done.
Oh, she
which,
was talking about herself.
Rounded out my face a little bit more.
George Lucas, if you're out there,
I will never understand women in plastic surgery. I just don't get it. Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe I'm being like naive and it's not a problem for men, but I just never understood. There's girls that I've loved absolutely, And you don't want, like, I had a best friend who was married to somebody and was like, you don't get plastic surgery. I love you just the way you are. Isn't that what we want? We want people to love people, accept people the way they are until they want to change themselves with plastic surgery. Then all of a sudden we have to be super supportive and buy into whatever insecurities they have. I don't get it.
I'm available.
What the fuck?
The difference between a fan and a fanatic? We're fans. The people out there in costumes are fanatics. Fanatics take it too far.
Ooh, there's some some fighting words, dude. There's some fighting words. I like it though. We all have to, like, here's the thing. We all have to occupy this space together, right? That's the thing that people, I think now currently in 2025, 2026, people don't get, is that they feel like it's this constant battle of like, I gotta beat them so that they disappear, or we gotta beat them. So, like, the thing is, this thing is going to exist no matter what. Like, Idols is going to exist no matter what. And anybody who wants to come into that space is going to come in. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't kick them out. And you can't ostracize them. You obviously can't. So, like, we're going to have to find a way to coexist in some way. We don't have to like each other. We can hang out in our own groups, but we have to, like, when there's a show, people are going to have to go there and be there, you know? You're just going to have to. Like, that's the way I see it. I've had people try to, like, you shouldn't, and try to kick me out.
Curious about fandom in general. What's your take on this whole thing?
Who is this guy?
Very disturbed, lonely, incredible, strange people who find their lives empty without purpose.
Oh, he tried to, like, Bruce Campbell tried to laugh that off, dude. They just kind of snuck it in there, like, these are lonely people with no purpose, and I'm like, I think that's kind of unfair. That's kind of unfair for you to say that, but, you know, maybe from his point of view, that makes sense. And then Bruce Campbell tried to laugh it off, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have recorded this guy. Bruce Campbell, I have a much more positive impression. I've had a more positive impression of Bruce Campbell. Like, when I was young, I think I just didn't get him. His sense of, like, humor, or the sense of the way he is. Because this is kind of like a, like, self-deprecating, but like, oh, I'm the star here kind of, like, humor. But I think I've really opened up to him over the last 5 or 6 years. And then especially now with this thing, too. But let's what Tim Thompson has to say again.
So they come to see guys like us.
You can film us out here. We're coming out here to pose.
With the Rabbit fans, there's almost like a childlike, but
Maybe
not
it
in a
wasn't
bad
me.
way, like an enthusiasm level that's way off the charts. And the source of that is probably metaphysical. I have no idea.
The worst it ever got for me was a fan found my house in California.
Well, we in the West don't have this problem, right? I've seen people, critics of Idols, like, we in the West don't have this problem. We don't do those kinds of things. We're above that. Those crazy Japanese Idol fans, we don't do that. I told you, it's all in the same vein. Just switch the subject matter, man. You can't outrun, you can't not be human. If we could not be human, then we wouldn't be human. We would have evolved to something else, and we wouldn't call ourselves humans anymore.
Was taking pictures of it outside, and they were attempting to sell it on the internet. And the gag was really on this guy because I didn't own the house. I wasn't home when he was taking the pictures. I don't know what the hell was going on. It was a little cul-de-sac. He must have been embarrassed because all our neighbors were like watching this idiot in his little white car taking pictures.
I work as a paramedic every day, and this is kind of a stress relief. You know, it gives me something to work on. I get away from that situation entirely. It removes my mind from it, and I enjoy doing it.
I know one actress who has to this day a panic button directly over her bed.
Oh, wow.
Because she's gotten phone calls, and she's actually seen a guy looking in her window. And to me, I can't think of anything more horrifying.
Yes. Oh, man. I mean, this is why I wanted to start Idol Helpline, man. Because the thing about it, the problem is people want to ridicule these people and be like, they're freaks, they're weirdos. But you can't just load them up all into a rocket, hit the button and send them into the sun, and then like, oh, the problem's solved. It's not. That's not how you're going to solve the problem. You're not going to solve the problem by making fun of them. You're not going to solve the problem by ostracizing them. You're not going to solve the problem by making fun of all these lonely incel men with small dicks. That's not going to solve the problem. These people are still going to exist. People are going to have, there's something like DNA within their genes wrong, or like through the process of their development, them growing up, some like wire is crossed differently where they just didn't learn the lesson, right? And you can't just off these people because they're weird or they're different, right? So how are you going to find a way again to coexist in this space? How are you going to coexist? You have to find a way.
It's the way I am. I feel I'm so much like the character.
Again, she's saying it. This is the way I am. There's something about me that I have to change my face and change my name because I love this character so much. Okay, that's fine. You're a little, again, self-admittedly, we are, as fans, a little bit weird. We're a little bit crazy. We are not normal people. But how do we coexist? How do we fit into this society? And how do we not let ourselves go off the deep end? Like for me, I have friends. This is a shared experience. We talk about stuff. The best part is there have been times in my life where I was maybe close to going off the deep end, not with fandom, but with other things, like either through relationships or jobs and stuff like that. And you're about to go off the deep end, and you have friends to talk to that pull you back or will call you out when you're getting a little bit crazy. I feel like that is the biggest safety net that there can be. And most effective safety net too.
This is the way I want to be. I never miss an episode. I have all the episodes everyone that was done. I have my autographs. Oh yeah, my license plate on my car says WP-Xena. My email address is Xena-WP. I have got pictures all over the wall. I have got the action figures all over. Virtually every merchandise you can think of. I have all the weapons. I have the sword. On my computer, I have the screensavers. It's all over. I don't want to say my whole life is encased by it, but if Lucy ever came to my apartment and she saw, like, for instance, my bedroom, she'd probably have an order taken out against me.
Okay, so it's weird. It's weird because she's self-admitting it, right? And she's trying to downplay this and joke like, oh, if she ever saw my room, she'd put a cease and desist, what's it called, stalking order against me, right? But is she not like seeing it? You know, it's like she's admitting it. It's staring her in the face, but yet she can't let it go. Like, I don't know. I would be really curious as to see what happened to this woman, like where she is now or where she is in her fandom. Is she still dressing? It's 2026? Is she still dressing like this 24 years later? I would be really super curious to find out.
To stay away from that kind of thing. You sort of think, there's no big deal. That to me, this is no big deal.
To her, it's no big deal. But why are you saying it like that, though? I don't get it. Why joke about the restraining order if it's not a big deal? Then it's not a big deal. Why bring it up?
We've never had a shooting at a Star Trek convention.
Are they talking about gun shooting?
Nope.
Or are they talking about? Oh boy, this seems like a disaster waiting to happen, dude. This seems like a disaster waiting to happen. Like as soon as you say something like this, we've never had a shooting. They're talking about shooting, right? Not like film shooting. Like, oh, this is terrible, dude. You never say something like this.
No.
None of my friends seem to understand it. You know, they think I'm a little bit crazy for...
Is that what they're saying? I don't know. They didn't really...
doing it, I guess. They'd probably consider me a fanatic about it, but I don't consider myself a fanatic.
It just fills a need that fiction and dreams do for it.
There is a truth. Like, everybody has needs and desires and wants, right? And there's like in America we have this very like idea of like deserve, like we deserve this, we deserve that, it should be a human right, it should be, but like I always look back on pre-history, like when we're just people living out on the plains or something, like are you going to tell me back then that we like you deserve this or you deserve, like back then it was just about survival. And I always try to think about it that way. It's like nothing was guaranteed. It was about survival. You had to go get it yourself. There was no like, I expect this. There was no expectation because you couldn't expect those things. Like for me, if I ever talk about stuff like this, it's always in the context of that. Like you're not owed anything because survival is not guaranteed in the world. We've just gotten so spoiled and used to this stuff that now we're entitled. We expect certain things. And I'm glad that I got out of it because like 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, when I was like 25 years ago, 25 years old, you know, like I thought that I was owed these things. And you're not owed these things at all. You have to fight for everything you get in this world.
You know, people we can idolize and identify with and admire.
What I enjoy about interacting with fans is it's just so much fun to see the energy and the love they
The energy and love, yes. That is definitely the best part.
put into it.
Peace, love, and keep watching the skies.
We're actors, and,
Okay.
we're supposed to stay in character. These people kick our asses.
Oh, man.
Because they'll never break out of character.
so
You know, the
strange.
director calls cut. We go sit down, have a cup of coffee,
Right.
crack jokes, or read a book.
Yeah.
And these guys are, I'm Spock for 48 hours.
very weird.
That's it.
The fact that they are out there to support us is really, all kidding aside, it's just pretty interesting.
Oh, because he was kidding earlier. Whoops. That was a kind of deceptive cut. The analog.
Hey, baby.
Oh, that's the red car he drives in
How you doing?
Fine.
in the movies.
How was the convention?
Good. I survived.
Oh, I
I
forgot
think
he's
at the
married.
end of the day,
I
actors
didn't know
and
he's
people in
married.
front of the camera and people in the public eye should be glad that people are following their work, that enjoy their work, and support their work.
Mm.
I think yin and yang is a good concept. It's two elements that sort of intertwine and fit, but they don't blend necessarily. They're distinct and different. You have the actor who's in front of the camera doing this, and you have the fan who's supporting it doing that.
Wow.
And it's a good harmonious mix as long as they don't totally blend, because they can't. It's good to strike a balance,
In other words, you have to have boundaries. That's basically what he's saying too, right?
and it's good to realize that actors do have an obligation to the fans to acknowledge them, to interact in some degree, and don't get surprised if someone comes up and says, "Hey pal, how are you? How about a handshake?" Because they think they know you. That's cool. And fans just have to realize that as part of their yin and yang, you're not going to always be able to crawl into the head of the person that you watch on television, because they're not that character. And sometimes they do want to be left alone. So as long as the yin and yang find the perfect balance, everything's groovy. See you later.
Yeah. This documentary really didn't say much. Again, nothing wrong with it. It's more of like a, hey, let's pose the question. And it isn't really like going to try to solve the, like, what is the answer, right? This is more of just like, here's the question. It's a thought piece. Let's think about it. Like, let's bring up these questions that you didn't think about previously before. Yay! That's the end of it.
Oh yeah, Army of Dark. That's really bad too.
Well, why is that? Is that which one's worse?
They're all the same.
They're all the same?
Yeah.
But they're not all as gross, are they? They get goofier, don't they?
They get what?
They get goofier?
Well, they are kind of goofy, but it's so dumb.
Like, why do you think they like that?
Because it's cultish. Because
Yeah?
it's just something.
So this is the problem. Is like, here's the thing. Here's my problem. Right? This girl is non-fan. He's asking her for answers, and one thing people don't understand is, and this might be an American thing. It's okay to say I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that. It's okay to say I haven't really thought about it that deeply, so I don't feel comfortable answering that, right? That's in those telltale games, like silence is an answer, is an acceptable answer. That's the problem right here, is that she obviously doesn't know. She's trying to come up with stuff on the fly, what it might be. And in doing so, I think she's doing a huge disservice, because you're just grasping at whatever you can. I see that with the Idol fandom a lot too, is that, You know, people don't know what it's about, so they just try to come up with whatever answer they can to explain the actions and the motivations behind people that are doing it, right? Either the idols themselves or the fans themselves. It's like, oh, they're only doing that because they need money, or oh, they're only doing that because they want to sleep with the idol, or they're only doing that because whatever. And it's not. It's a huge disservice because you're not only are you not answering the question right, but you're putting out the wrong answer on top of that. And that's not good. I don't think that's good. I think it's a huge problem because we don't want to let on that we don't know what we're talking about. So a wrong answer is better than no answer.
Well, you know, guys just like that kind of stuff, like stupid movie. Well, I'm sorry. No, I've met guys that are.
Now she's tripping over words. Now she's like pretzeling herself up. First it was this, now it's that. Again, you can say I don't know. Why do people like this? I don't know. She said it's because it's cultish. Because guys like that kind of stuff. Because stupid guys like stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Do you see the point I'm trying to make?
Movies that are like goofy and morbid and gross, exactly like that. I mean,
So it's a
that's
guy-
all they like.
It's really just.
That's all they like now. Now we're generalizing all they like, right?
Guys.
Specific guys.
Now it's specific
I'm not
guys.
saying all guys are like that, but there are a lot of specific guys that
Are they like college
that kind
guys
of movie.
or?
Unintellectual college guys.
Now it becomes college guys. Now it becomes unintellectual college guys. See, this is the danger, man. This is the danger of saying stuff without thinking it through.
Unintellectual, I get it.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of dumbbells here tonight. Is what
So
you're-
what?
We have a bunch of dumbbells here tonight, I think is what you're saying.
Well, they don't necessarily have to be that dumb, but yeah,
They have
kind
to be
of.
sorted dumb in order to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That was a cool thing. Good luck to. I mean, he was just diagnosed. He just came out and said he's been diagnosed with cancer and that he's going to beat it.